Welcome to Advanced Grammar for American English File. First, question formation.
Should we buy her a present?
How long have you been waiting?
How many children does your sister have?
We make questions with modal verbs and with tenses where there is an auxiliary verb, like be, have, etc., by inverting the subject and the modal, auxiliary verb, with the simple present and past. We add the auxiliary verb do or does or did before the subject.
Why didn't you like the movie?
Isn't this a beautiful place?
Rule number 2. We often use negative questions to show surprise or when we expect somebody to agree with us.
What are they talking about?
Who does this bag belong to?
Rule number 3. If a verb is followed by a preposition, the preposition comes at the end of the question, not at the beginning. So we don't say, about what are you talking? We say, what are you talking about?
Who lives in that house?
How many people follow you on Twitter?
Rule number 4. When who, what, which, etc. is the subject of the question, we do not use do or did. For example, who wrote this? We do not say, who did write this? Indirect questions. Be careful, these are very important.
Could you tell me what time the store next door opens?
Do you know if Mark's coming to the meeting? Do you know whether Mark's coming to the meeting?
We use indirect questions when we want to ask questions in a more polite way and begin with can or could you tell me? Or when we introduce a question with, for example, do you know, do you remember? Compare these. What time does the store next door open? This is a direct question. And could you tell me what time the store next door opens? This is an indirect question. In indirect questions, the order is subject and verb. Can you tell me where it is? We don't say, can you tell me where it is? This is a very common mistake. We don't use do or did in the second part of the question. For example, do you know where he lives? We don't say, do you know where does he live? You can use if or whether in questions without a question word, like what or how many, etc. And after can you tell me, do you know, etc. Other expressions followed by the word order of indirect questions. The word order of indirect questions is used after I wonder. For example, I wonder why they didn't come. I'm not sure. For example, I'm not sure what time it starts. I can't remember. For example, I can't remember where I left my phone. I want to know. For example, I want to know what time you're coming home. Do you have any idea? For example, do you have any idea if, or whether, James is on vacation this week? Let's try to solve these exercises. Order the words to make questions. Please pause and try to solve them. Exercise number 2. Complete the questions with the words in parentheses. Please pause and try to solve them.
I like cats, but my husband doesn't.
Sally's coming tonight, but Angela isn't.
We use auxiliary verbs to avoid repeating the main verb or the verb phrase. For example, I like cats, but my husband doesn't. We don't need to say my husband doesn't like cats. Number 2.
I loved his latest novel.
So did I.
I haven't finished yet.
Neither have I.
Andrew's a doctor, and so is his wife.
We use auxiliary verbs with so and neither to say that someone or something is the same. Number 3.
I don't like shopping online.
I do. I buy a lot of my clothes online.
We use auxiliary verbs to say that someone or something is different. Number 4.
I went to a psychic yesterday.
You did?
I'll make the dinner.
You will? That's great.
So we use them to make reply questions, to show interest or surprise. Number 5.
You didn't lock the door?
I did lock it. I know I did.
Sylvia isn't coming.
She is coming. I just spoke to her.
We use them to show emphasis in an affirmative sentence. Often when you want to contradict what somebody says. With the present, simple past, we add do, does, did before the main verb. With other auxiliaries, for example, be, have, will, the auxiliary verb is stressed and not contracted.
You won't forget, will you?
She can speak Italian, can't she?
Lastly, we use them to make tag questions, usually to check information. We use an affirmative auxiliary with a negative verb and a negative auxiliary with an affirmative verb. Tag questions are often used simply to ask another person to agree with you. For example, "It's a nice day, isn't it?" Tag questions can also be used to check something you think is true. For example, "She's a painter, isn't she?" Let's take a look at these exercises. Complete the mini dialogues with an auxiliary or modal verb. Please pause and try to solve the exercises. Exercise number 2. Complete the conversation with a suitable auxiliary verb. Number 3. Present perfect simple and continuous.
Have you ever written a blog?
Now we use the present perfect simple to talk about past experiences when you don't say when something happened.
2.
We've landed, but we haven't gotten off the plane yet. I've already told you 3 times.
Secondly, we use it with yet and already.
3.
It's the best book I've ever read.
We use the present perfect simple with superlatives and the first, the second, last time, etc.
4.
I've known Keiko since I was a child. My sister has had the flu for 10 days now.
We use it with non-action verbs, which means verbs not usually used in the continuous form. For example, be, have, know, like, etc. This use is common with time expressions like how long, for, since, all day, etc. Do not use the simple present or continuous in this situation. So we don't say, "I know Keiko since I was a child."
5.
How many Patricia Cornwell novels have you read? They've seen each other twice this week.
And lastly, we use the present perfect simple when we say or ask how much or many we have done or how often we have done something up until now. Now, present perfect continuous, which is have or has plus been plus a verb with ing.
How long have you been feeling sick?
He's been chatting online all evening.
Now, when do we use this? We use the present perfect continuous, firstly, with action verbs, to say that an action started in the past and is still happening now. This use is common with time expressions like how long, for, since, all day, evening. Do not use the simple present or continuous in this situation. Again, we don't say, "I know Keiko since I was a child."
2. I haven't been sleeping well.
It's been raining all day.
Number 2, we use the present perfect continuous for repeated actions, especially with a time expression. For example, all day, recently, etc.
3. I've been shopping all morning. I'm exhausted.
Take your shoes off. They're filthy.
Yes, I know. I've been working in the yard.
We use it for continuous actions that have just finished, but that have present results. To talk about an unfinished actions, we usually use the present perfect continuous with action verbs and the present perfect simple with non-action verbs. For example,
I've been learning French for the last 3 years.
He's liked classical music since he was a teenager.
2.
She's been having a good time at school.
They've had that car for at least 10 years.
some verbs can be action or non-action, depending on the meaning. This is very important. For example, have a good time is an action verb. Have a car is a non-action verb.
3. We've lived in this town since 1980.
We've been living in a rented house for the last 2 months.
Now, with the verbs live or work, you can often use the present perfect simple or continuous. However, we usually use the present perfect continuous for shorter, more temporary actions.
4.
I've painted the kitchen.
I've been painting the kitchen.
The present perfect simple emphasizes the completion of the action. For example, the kitchen has been painted. The present perfect continuous emphasizes the duration of an action that may or may not be finished. For example, the painting of the kitchen may not be finished yet. Let's take a look at the exercises. First one, circle the correct form of the verb and check if both are possible. Please pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Complete the sentence with the best form of the verb in parentheses, present perfect simple or continuous. Pause and do the exercises. Number 4, adjectives as nouns, or adjective order.
The English are famous for drinking tea.
The Chinese invented paper.
The Dutch make wonderful cheese.
We can use the plus some adjectives to talk about groups of people. For example, the French, the Spanish, the British, the Japanese, the Irish, the Swiss. Most other nationality words are nouns and are used in the plural. For example, the Brazilians, the Peruvians, the Turks, the South Koreans, the Argentinians, etc.
2. The poor are getting poorer, and the rich are getting richer.
The government needs to create more jobs for the unemployed.
We also use it for specific groups in society. For example, the young, the old, or the elderly, the sick, which means people who are ill, the blind, the deaf, the homeless, the dead. Adjective order.
We have a charming old house near the lake.
She has long brown hair.
I bought a beautiful Italian leather belt.
You can put more than one adjective before a noun, often 2 and occasionally 3. These adjectives go in a particular order. For example, we do not say an old charming house, we say a charming old house. Opinion adjectives, for example, beautiful, nice, charming, always go before descriptive adjectives. For example, big, old, round. If there is more than one descriptive adjective, they go in this order. Opinion, like expensive or beautiful. Size, like little or big. Age, brand new or old. Shape, long, round, small, long, round, oval. Color, purple, pink, red. Pattern, striped. Origin or place, French, Japanese. Material, silk. Noun, scarf or car. Let's take a look at the exercises. Rewrite the underlined phrase using the plus an adjective. Please pause and do the exercise in the comments. Exercise number 2. Write the adjectives in parentheses in the right place. Change a to an where necessary. Number 5. Narrative tenses. Let's start with the simple past.
We arrived at the airport and checked in.
We use the simple past to talk about consecutive actions or situations in the past. That is, for the main events in a story.
2.
We were having dinner when the plane hit some turbulence.
At 9 o'clock, most people on the plane were reading or were trying to sleep.
So we use the past continuous, was or were, plus verb ing, to describe a longer continuous past action, or situation that was in progress when another action happened, or to describe an action or situation that was not complete at a past time.
3.
When we arrived at the airport, we suddenly realized that we had left one of the suitcases in the taxi.
We use the past perfect, had, and past participle to talk about the earlier past, i.e., things that happened before the main events.
4. We'd been flying for about 2 hours when suddenly the captain told us to fasten our seatbelts because we were flying into some very bad weather.
We use the past perfect continuous, had been plus verb ing, with action verbs to talk about longer continuous actions or situations that started before the main events happened and have continued up to that point. Non-action verbs, for example, be, have, know, like, are not usually used in the past continuous or past perfect continuous, using the past perfect simple or continuous. Look at this example.
Lena was crying because she'd been reading a very sad book.
Lena didn't want to see the movie because she'd already read the book.
Past perfect continuous emphasizes the continuation of an activity. The past perfect simple emphasizes the completion of an activity. Exercises. Circle the correct verb form. Please pause and do the exercises. Exercise number 2. Put the verb in parentheses in the past perfect simple, had done, or continuous, had been doing. If you think both are possible, use the continuous form. The position of adverbs and adverbial phrases. Adverbs can describe an action. For example, he walks slowly, or modify adjectives or other adverbs. For example, It's incredibly expensive. He works very hard. They can either be one word, for example, often, or a phrase, once a week.
1.
He walks very slowly.
I speak 5 languages fluently.
The driver was seriously injured in the accident.
Adverbs of manner. Describe how somebody does something. They usually go after the verb or verb phrase.
2.
I hardly ever have time for breakfast.
Liam's always late for work.
I would never have thought you were 40.
Adverbs of frequency. Go before the main verb but after the verb to be. Sometimes, usually, and normally can also be put at the beginning of the phrase or sentence for emphasis.
3.
My parents will be here in half an hour.
It rained all day yesterday.
Adverbs of time and place usually go at the end of a sentence or clause. Place adverbs usually go before time adverbs. So we don't say my parents will be in half an hour here. We say my parents will be here in half an hour.
4.
I'm nearly finished.
We're incredibly tired. My husband works a lot, but he doesn't earn much.
Adverbs of degree describe how much something is done or modify an adjective. Extremely, incredibly, very, etc. are used with adjectives and adverb and go before them. Number 5.
Unfortunately, the package never arrived.
Ideally, we should leave here at 10.
Comment adverbs, which give the speaker's opinion, usually go at the beginning of a sentence or clause. Other common comment adverbs are luckily, basically, clearly, obviously, apparently, eventually, etc. Other adverbs. Most other adverbs go in mid-position. For example, I just need 10 more minutes. She didn't even say goodbye. She'll probably come in the end. Please pause and do the exercises. Exercise number 1. Underline the adverbs or adverbial phrases and correct the sentences where the order is wrong. Number 2. Put the adverbs in parentheses in the normal position in these sentences. Number 7. Future perfect and future continuous.
The decorators will have finished painting by Tuesday, so we can move back into the apartment then.
The soccer team says that they'll have built the new stadium in 6 months.
Laura won't have arrived before dinner, so I'll leave some food on the stove for her.
When will they have learned enough English to be able to communicate fluently?
We use the future perfect to say something will be finished before a certain time in the future. This tense is frequently used with the time expressions by and in. For example, by Saturday, by March, by 2030, etc. Or in 2 weeks, in 2 months, etc. Future continuous. Will be plus verb ing.
Don't call between 7 and 8 because we'll be having dinner then.
Good luck on your test tomorrow. I'll be thinking of you.
This time tomorrow, I'll be sitting on the beach watching the sunset.
Come at 7 because we won't be starting dinner until 8.
Will you be waiting for me when I get off the train?
I'll be going to the supermarket later. Do you want anything?
We use the future continuous to say that an action will be in progress at a certain time in the future. Use the future continuous will be plus verb ing to say that an action will be in progress at a certain time in the future. Compare, we'll have dinner at 8. It means we will start dinner at 8. And we will be having dinner at 8. At 8, we will already have started having dinner. We sometimes use the future continuous, like the present continuous, to talk about things that are already planned or decided. Exercise number 1. Complete the sentences using the future perfect or future continuous. Please pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Complete the dialogue with the verbs in the parentheses in the future perfect or continuous. Zero and first conditionals. Future time clauses with all present and future forms. Zero conditional.
If you want to be in shape, you need to exercise every day.
If people are wearing headphones while walking, they often don't notice other people.
If you haven't been to New York, you haven't lived.
We use zero conditional to talk about something that is always true or always happens as a result of something else. We use if plus simple present and the simple present in the other clause. You can also use the present continuous or present perfect in either clause. First conditional.
If the photos are good, I'll send them to you.
If you're not going to Jason's party, I'm not going to go either.
If I haven't come back by 9 o'clock, start dinner without me.
I'll have it finished in an hour if you don't disturb me.
We use the first conditional to talk about something that will probably happen in the future. We use if plus a present tense and future tense in the other clause. You can use any present form in the if clause, simple present, continuous, or perfect, and any future form, will, going to, future perfect, future continuous, or an imperative in the other clause. Future time clauses.
I'll be ready as soon as I've had a cup of coffee.
Text me when your train's coming into the station.
I'm not going to buy the new model until the price has gone down a little.
I'm not going to work overtime this weekend unless I get paid for it.
Take your umbrella in case it's raining when you leave work.
When you're talking about the future, use a present tense after these expressions, as soon as, when, until, unless, before, after, and in case. This can be any present form. For example, simple present, present continuous, present perfect. We use in case when we do something in order to be ready for future situations or problems. Compare the use of if and in case. I'll take an umbrella if it rains, which means I won't take an umbrella if it doesn't rain. I'll take an umbrella in case it rains, which means I'll take an umbrella anyway because it might rain. Pause and do the exercises. Circle the correct form. Exercise number 2. Complete the sentences with time expression from the list. You have to use some words more than once. 9. Unreal conditionals. Second conditional sentences, if plus simple past, would, wouldn't, and base form.
If there was a fire in this hotel, it would be very difficult to escape.
I wouldn't have a car if I didn't live in the suburbs.
We use second conditional sentences to talk about a hypothetical or imaginary situation in the present or future and its consequences.
2. If you weren't making so much noise, I could concentrate better.
In the if clause, you can also use the present continuous. In the other clause, you can use could or might instead of would.
3.
If I were you, I'd make Jimmy wear a helmet when he's riding a bike.
With the verb be, you can use was or were for I, he, and she in the if clause. For example, if Dan was or were here, he would know what to do. However, in conditionals beginning, if I were you, to give advice, we always use were. Third conditional sentences, if plus past perfect, would, wouldn't have, plus verb 3.
1. If you had come to class more often, you would have done better on the exams.
I wouldn't have been late if I hadn't overslept.
We use third conditional sentences to talk about a hypothetical past situation and its consequences.
2. He would have died if he hadn't been wearing a helmet.
If the jacket had been a little cheaper, I might have bought it.
You can use the past perfect continuous in the if clause. You can also use could have or might have instead of would have in the other clause. Second or third conditional.
If you came to class more often, you would probably pass the exam.
If you had come to class more often, you would probably have passed the exam.
Compare the two conditionals. You don't come to class enough. You need to come more often if you want to pass the exam. Number 2, you didn't come to class enough, so you failed. Mixed conditionals. We sometimes mix second and third conditionals if a hypothetical situation in the past has a present or a future consequence. For example, you wouldn't be so tired if you had gone to bed earlier last night. If he really loved you, he would have asked you to marry him. Exercise number 1. Complete with the correct form of the verb in the parentheses using a second or third conditional. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Complete using a second or third conditional. 10. Structures after wish. Wish plus would and wouldn't.
I wish bike riders wouldn't ride on the sidewalk.
I wish you'd spend a little more time with the children.
I wish the bus would come. I'm freezing.
I wish you wouldn't leave your shoes there. I almost fell over them.
We use wish and person or thing plus would to talk about things we want to happen or stop happening because they annoy us. You don't usually use wish and would for a wish about yourself. So you don't say, I wish I would. Wish plus simple past or past perfect.
1.
I wish I was 10 years younger.
I wish I could understand what they're saying.
We use wish and simple past to talk about things we would like to be different in the present or future, but that are impossible or unlikely. After wish, you can use was or were with I, he, she, it. For example, I wish I was taller, or I wish I were taller.
2.
I wish I hadn't bought those shoes.
I wish you'd told me the truth.
We use wish and past perfect to talk about the things that happened or didn't happen in the past and that you now regret. If only. We can also use if only instead of I wish in all these structures. For example, if only he'd hurry up. If only I had a little more money. If only she hadn't told him about the affair. Exercise number 1. Write sentences with I wish, would, and wouldn't. Please pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Complete with the verb in the simple past or past perfect. Gerunds and infinitives. When one verb follows another, the first verb determines the form of the second. This can be the gerund, verb ing, or the infinitive, with to, or the base form, without to.
I enjoy listening to music.
I couldn't help laughing.
Use the gerund after certain verbs and expressions. For example, enjoy, can't help. When a phrasal verb is followed by another verb, the verb is the gerund. For example, keep on, give up, look forward to.
I want to speak to you.
They can't afford to buy a new car.
Use the infinitive with to after certain verbs and expressions. For example, want or afford.
It might rain tonight.
I'd rather eat in than go out tonight.
Use the base form without to after modal verbs and some expressions. For example, might, would rather, and after the verbs make and let. In the passive, make is followed by the infinitive. Compare, my boss makes us work hard. At school, we were made to wear a uniform. Like, love, hate, and prefer. Like, love, hate, and prefer are usually used with the gerund in English, but can also be used with the infinitive. We tend to use the gerund when we talk generally, and the infinitive when we talk specifically. I like swimming, general. I like to swim first thing in the morning when there aren't many people there. This is specific. I prefer riding a bike to driving. This is general. You don't need to give me a ride to the train station. I prefer to walk. Specific. When like, love, hate, and prefer are used with would, they are always followed by the infinitive. For example, I'd prefer to stay at home tonight. I would love to come with you. Verbs that can be followed by either gerund or infinitive.
1.
It started to rain.
It started raining.
Some verbs can be followed by the gerund or the infinitive with no difference in meaning. The most common verbs like this are start, begin, and continue.
2.
Remember to lock the door.
I remember going to Lima as a child.
Sorry, I forgot to do it.
I'll never forget seeing the Taj Mahal.
I tried to open the window.
Try calling Yi on her cell phone.
You need to clean the car.
The car needs cleaning.
Some verbs can be followed by the gerund or the infinitive with a change of meaning. Remember plus infinitive. You remember first, then you do something. Remember plus gerund. You do something, then you remember it. Forget plus infinitive means you didn't remember to do something. Forget plus gerund means you did something and you won't forget it. It's more common in the negative. Try plus infinitive means to make an effort to do something. Try plus gerund means Experiment to see if something works. Need plus gerund is a passive construction. For example, needs cleaning. Needs to be cleaned. We don't say needs to clean. Do the exercises. Complete with a gerund or an infinitive of a verb from the list. Pause and do the exercise. Number 2. Circle the correct form. 12. Used to be used to, and get used to. Used to, didn't used to, plus base form.
1. I used to sleep for 8 hours every night, but now I only sleep for 6.
I didn't recognize him. He didn't used to have a beard.
We use used to or didn't used to plus the base form to talk about past habits or repeated actions or situations, or states that have changed. Used to doesn't exist in the present tense. For present habits, we use usually plus simple present. For example, I usually walk to work, not I used to walk to work.
2.
When I lived in Mexico as a child, we used to have pan dulce for breakfast. We would buy them every morning from the local baker.
We can also use would to refer to repeated actions in the past. However, we don't use would for non-action verbs, like be, have, know, like. So we don't say I didn't recognize him, he wouldn't have a beard. Be used to, get used to plus gerund.
1.
I'm not used to sleeping with a comforter. I've always slept with blankets.
Carlos has lived in Hong Kong for years. He's used to driving on the left.
Use be used to and gerund to talk about a new situation that is now familiar or less strange.
2.
I can't get used to working at night. I feel tired all the time.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it fast.
Use get used to plus gerund to talk about a new situation that is becoming familiar or less strange. Exercise number 1. Right or wrong, correct the mistakes in the highlighted phrases. Please pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Complete with used to, be used to, or get used to, and the verb in parentheses. 13. Past modals. Must, might, may, can't, couldn't, plus have plus verb 3. We use must, may, might, couldn't, can't, have, and past participle or verb 3 to make deductions or speculate about past actions.
1.
I must have left my phone at Anna's. I definitely remember having it there.
You must have seen something. You were there when the accident happened.
We use must have when we are almost sure that something happened or was true. The opposite of must have is couldn't have.
2.
Somebody might have stolen your wallet when you were getting off the train.
He still hasn't arrived. I may not have given him the right directions.
We use might or may have when we think it's possible that something happened or was true. We can also use could have with this meaning. For example, somebody could have stolen your wallet when you were getting off the train.
3.
She couldn't have gone to bed. It's only 10 o'clock.
You couldn't have seen their faces very clearly. It was too dark.
We use couldn't have when we are almost sure something didn't happen or that it's impossible. You can also use can't have. Should have plus verb 3.
We're going the wrong way. We shouldn't have turned left at the traffic light.
It's my fault. I should have told you earlier that my mother was coming.
We use should have plus past participle to say that somebody didn't do the right thing, or to express regret or criticism. You can use ought to have as an alternative to should have. For example, I ought to have told you earlier. However, should have is more common, especially in speaking. Exercise number 1. Rewrite the bold sentences using must, might not, couldn't have, and verb. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Respond to the first sentence using should or shouldn't have, plus a verb in the list. 14. Verbs of the senses. Look, feel, smell, sound, taste.
You look tired.
That cake smells good.
These jeans don't feel comfortable.
We use look, feel, etc. plus an adjective.
Tim looks like his father.
This material feels like silk, is it?
Are you sure this is coffee? It tastes like tea.
we use look, feel, plus like and noun.
3.
She looks as if she's been crying.
It smells as if something's burning.
It sounds as if it's raining.
We use look, feel, etc. plus as if and a clause. You can use like or as though instead of as if. For example, it sounds like, or it sounds as though it's raining. Feel like. Feel like can also be used as a verb meaning want or would like. It is followed by a noun or a verb in the gerund. For example, I feel like pasta for lunch today, which means I would like pasta for lunch today. I don't feel like going to bed, which means I don't want to go to bed. Exercise number 1. Match the sentence halves. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Circle the correct form. (15) The passive, all forms. It is said that, he is thought to, etc.
Simple present. Murderers are usually sentenced to life imprisonment.
Present continuous. The trial is being held right now.
Present perfect. My car has been stolen.
Simple past. Jim was arrested last month.
Past continuous. The theater was being rebuilt when it was set on fire.
Past perfect. We saw that one of the windows had been broken.
Future. The prisoner will be released next month. The verdict is going to be given tomorrow.
Infinitive. People used to be imprisoned for stealing bread.
Base form. You can be fined for parking at a bus stop.
Gerund. He paid a fine to avoid being sent to jail.
Use the passive when you want to talk about an action, but you are not so interested in saying who or what does or did the action. If you also want to mention the person or thing that did the action, the agent, use by. However, in the majority of passive sentences, the agent is not mentioned. It is said that, he is thought to, etc.
1.
They say that the fire was started deliberately.
It is said that the fire was started deliberately.
People think that the mayor will resign.
It is thought that the mayor will resign.
This formal structure is used especially in news reports and on TV with the verbs know, tell, understand, report, expect, say, and think. It makes the information sound more impersonal.
2.
People say the man is in his 40s.
The man is said to be in his 40s.
The police believe he has left the country.
He is believed to have left the country.
Exercise number 1. Rewrite the sentences in the passive without the agent. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Rephrase the sentences in 2 ways to make them more formal. (16) Reporting verbs. Structures after reporting verbs.
1.
Jack offered to drive me to the airport.
I promise not to tell anybody.
1 plus infinitive. Agree, offer, promise, refuse, threaten, not to do something.
2.
The doctor advised me to rest.
I persuaded my sister not to go out with Max.
2 plus person, infinitive. Advise, ask, convince, encourage, invite, persuade, remind, tell, warn somebody not to do something.
3.
I apologized for being so late.
The police accused Carl of stealing the car.
3. ing form. Apologize to somebody for not doing something, insist on doing something, accuse somebody of doing something, recommend, admit, regret, blame somebody for, suggest, and deny doing something. Verbs that use a that clause. With agree, admit, deny, promise, regret, you can also use that plus clause. Leo admitted stealing the watch. Leo admitted that he had stolen the watch. Exercise number 1. Complete with the gerund or infinitive of the verb in parentheses. Exercise number 2. Complete using a reporting verb from the list and the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Use an object where necessary. Pause and do the exercise. 17. Clauses of contrast and purpose. Clauses of contrast.
1. Although the ad said it would last for years, mine broke after 2 months.
I went to work even though I wasn't feeling very well.
I like Anne, though she sometimes annoys me.
We use although, though, even though, and in spite of or despite to express a contrast. Use although, though, even though plus a clause. Although and even though can be used at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. Even though is stronger than although and is used to express a big or surprising contrast. Though is more informal than although. It can be used in the middle of a sentence.
2.
In spite of her age, she is still very active. Despite her age, she is still very active.
In spite of being 85, she is still very active. Despite being 85, she is still very active.
In spite of the fact that she's 85, she is still very active. Despite the fact that she's 85, she is still very active.
After in spite or despite, use a noun, a verb in the ing form, or the fact that plus subject and verb. Remember not to use of after despite, so we don't say despite of the rain. Clauses of purpose. Use to, in order to, so as to, for, and so that to express purpose.
1.
I went to the bank to talk to the bank manager. I went to the bank in order to talk to the bank manager. I went to the bank so as to talk to the bank manager.
After to, in order to, and so as to, use a base form.
2.
I went to the bank for a meeting with the bank manager.
Use for plus a noun. For example, for a meeting. You can also use for and a gerund to describe the exact purpose of a thing. This liquid is for cleaning metal.
3.
I went to the bank so that I could talk to the manager in person.
4.
I wrote down what he said so as not to forget it.
To express negative purpose, use so as not to or in order not to. For example, I wrote down what he said in order not to forget it. Not to not forget it. Exercise 1. Complete the sentences with one word. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise 2. Rewrite the sentences. 18. Uncountable and plural nouns.
1.
The weather is fantastic there, and there's very little traffic, so you can walk everywhere.
The scenery is beautiful here, but it's spoiled by all the trash people leave.
The following nouns are always uncountable: behavior, traffic, weather, health, progress, scenery, trash, work, politics, and other words ending in ICS like gymnastics, economics. They always need a singular verb. They don't have plurals, and they can't be used with a or an.
2. Could you give me some advice about where to stay?
One useful piece of advice is to get a Metro card.
These nouns are also uncountable: furniture, information, advice, homework, research, news, luck, bread, toast, luggage, equipment. Use a piece of to talk about an individual item.
3. The new opera house is made mainly of glass.
Can I have a glass of water, please?
Some nouns can be either countable or uncountable, but the meaning changes. For example, glass, the material used to make windows. A glass, the thing you drink out of. Other examples are iron, business, paper, light, time, and space. Plural and collective nouns.
1. One of the best museums is on the outskirts of the city.
My clothes are filthy. I'll put on some clean pants. I'll put on a pair of clean pants.
Arms means guns. Belongings, clothes, manners, outskirts, scissors, pants, and shorts are plural nouns with no singular. They need a plural verb, and they can't be used with a or an. If they consist of two parts, for example, scissors, pants, shorts, etc., they can be used with a pair of or some.
2. The hotel staff is very efficient.
The cabin crew is coming around with the snack cart in just a few minutes.
Crew, family, staff, etc. are collective singular nouns, and refer to a group of people, they need a singular verb, except police, which needs a plural verb. Exercise number 1. Right or wrong, correct the mistakes in the highlighted phrases. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Circle the correct form. Check if both are correct. 19. Quantifiers. All, every, both, etc.
1,
All animals need food. All fruit contains sugar.
All the animals in this zoo look sad. The animals all look sad.
We use all or all of the plus a plural or uncountable noun. All, in general. All of the means specific. All can be used before a main verb and after be.
2,
Everybody is here. Everything is very expensive.
We use everything, everybody, which means all things, all people, plus singular verb. For example, everything is expensive. We don't say all is very expensive.
3,
Most people live in cities.
Most of the people in this class are women.
We use most to say the majority. Most means general. Most of is specific.
4,
All of us work hard, and most of us come to class every week.
We often use all, most of, and object pronoun. For example, all of us, most of them, all of you, most of it.
5,
Every room has a bathroom. I work every Saturday.
We use every plus singular countable noun to mean all of a group. Every and all plus time expressions. Note the difference between every and all plus time expressions. Every day means Monday to Sunday. All day means from morning to night. I usually go running every day, but today I'm sick, so I stayed in bed all day. No, none, and any.
1,
Is there any milk?
Sorry, there's no milk. There isn't any.
We use no plus a noun after a positive verb, or any and a noun after a negative verb to refer to zero quantity. Any can also be used without a noun.
2,
Is there any food?
No, none. There's none. But none of us are hungry.
We use none in short answers or with a positive verb to refer to zero quantity. You can also use none plus of plus pronoun or noun.
3,
Come any weekend. Anyone can come.
We use any and anything, anyone, etc. and a positive verb to mean it doesn't matter what, who, etc. Both, neither, and either.
1. Both Pierre and Marie Curie were scientists. Neither Pierre nor Marie was aware of the dangers of radiation. Marie Curie wanted to study either physics or mathematics. In the end, she studied both at the Sorbonne in Paris.
We use a positive verb with both and neither. The verb is plural with both, and either singular or plural with neither.
2. She and her husband both won Nobel Prizes. Pierre and Marie were both interested in radium.
When both refers to the subject of a clause, it can also be used before a main verb but after be.
3. Neither of them realized how dangerous radium was.
We often use both, either, neither, plus of, plus object pronoun. For example, us, them, etc., or of the plus noun. Exercise number 1. Circle the correct word or phrase. Pause and do the exercise. Exercise number 2. Right or wrong, correct the wrong sentences. (20) Articles. Basic rules.
1,
My neighbor just bought a dog. The dog is an English bulldog.
He got into the car and drove to the courthouse.
Use a or an when you mention somebody or something for the first time, or say who or what somebody or something is. Use the when it's clear who or what somebody or something is. For example, it has been mentioned before or it's unique.
2. Men are taller than women on average.
I don't like sports or classical music.
I stayed at home last weekend.
Don't use an article to speak in general with plural and uncountable nouns, or in phrases like at home, work, go home, to bed, next, last week, etc. Institutions.
My son is in high school.
They're building a new high school in my town.
He was sent to prison for 2 years.
My grandmother used to work in the prison as a nurse.
With words like school, college, prison, jail, church, etc., don't use an article when you are talking about the institution and the usual purpose it is used for. If you are just talking about the building, use a or the. Exception, she's in the hospital. More rules. Geographical names.
1.
South Korea is in East Asia.
We don't usually use the with most countries, continents, regions ending with the name of a country or continent. For example, North America, Southeast Asia. Individual islands, states, provinces, towns, and cities. Some exceptions are the US, the UK, the Netherlands, the Czech Republic.
2.
Macy's is one of the most famous department stores in the U.S.
We don't use the with roads, streets, parks, bridges, stores, restaurants. Some exceptions are highways and numbered roads. For example, the Trans-Canada Highway, the 405.
3.
Lake Maracaibo and Lake Titicaca are both in South America.
4.
The Danube River flows into the Black Sea.
5.
The Metropolitan Museum is located on Fifth Avenue in New York.
We don't use the with individual mountains and lakes. We usually use the with mountain ranges, rivers, oceans, seas, canals, deserts, and island groups. We use the with the names of theaters, hotels, museums, galleries, buildings, and monuments. Circle the correct article. Pause and do the exercise. Complete with the or nothing. Here is a list of verb patterns, verb followed by the gerund or infinitive. Gerunds. Admit. In court, the accused admitted to stealing the documents. Avoid. I always try to avoid driving during rush hour. Be worth. It isn't worth going to the exhibition. It's really boring. Can't help. We can't help laughing when my dad tries to speak French. His accent is awful. Can't stand. I can't stand talking to people who only talk about themselves. Deny. Miriam denied killing her husband, but the jury didn't believe her. Enjoy. I used to enjoy flying, but now I don't. Feel like. I don't feel like going out tonight. Finish. Have you finished writing the report yet? Give up. Karen has given up eating meat, but she still eats fish. Keep on. I keep on telling my husband to lose some weight, but he just won't listen. Look forward to. We are really looking forward to seeing you again. Imagine. I can't imagine living in the country. I think I would get bored after a week. Involve. My boyfriend's job involves traveling at least once a month. Mind. I don't mind doing housework. I find it very relaxing. Miss. Does your father miss working now that he has retired? Postpone. We will have to postpone going to the beach until the weather warms up. Practice. The more you practice speaking English, the more fluent you'll get. Recommend. I recommend taking a bus tour because it's the best way to see Manhattan. Regret. I regret not traveling more before I got my first job. Risk. If I were you, I wouldn't risk walking through the park at night. Spend. I spent half an hour looking for my glasses this morning. Stop. Once I open a box of chocolates, I can't stop eating them. Suggest. A friend of mine suggested visiting Washington, D.C. in the spring. Infinitive. Afford. I can't afford to go on vacation this summer. Agree. I agree to pay David back the money he lent me next week. Appear. The results appear to support the scientist's theory. Arrange. I arranged to meet Sophia outside the restaurant. Be able. I won't be able to work for 2 weeks after the operation. Can't wait. We can't wait to see your new house. It sounds great. Choose. I chose to study abroad for a year, and it's the best thing I've ever done. Decide. They have decided to call off the wedding. Deserve. Kim deserves to get the job. She's a very strong candidate. Expect. We're expecting to get our test scores on Friday. Happen. Tom happened to be at Alan's when I called, so I invited him to our party too. Help. The organization I work for helps young people to find work abroad. We can also use help without to, so we can say, the organization I work for helps young people find work abroad. Hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask a staff member if you need anything. Hope. I am hoping to set up my company if I can get a bank loan. Learn. I wish I had learned to play the guitar when I was younger. Make. This car was made to perform well on wet roads. Manage. Did you manage to get to the airport in time? Offer. Lucy has offered to give me a ride to the train station. Plan. We're planning to have a big party to celebrate. Pretend. I pretended to be enthusiastic, but really, I didn't like the idea at all. Promise. Sarah always promises to help me in the kitchen, but she never does. Refuse. My neighbor refused to turn down the music, and I had to call the police. Seem. Something seems to be wrong with the washing machine. Teach. Jack's father taught him to drive when he was 17. Tend. My boss tends to lose her temper when she's feeling stressed. Threaten. The teacher threatened to call my parents and tell them what I had done. Want. The police want to interview anyone who witnessed the crime. Would like. Would you like to try the dress on? The changing rooms are over there. Base form. Can you help me carry these suitcases? May. There's a lot of traffic today, so we may be a little late. Might. It might rain tomorrow, so please bring an umbrella or a raincoat. Must. I must remember to set the burglar alarm before I leave work. Should. Should we book a table for tomorrow night? It's a very popular restaurant. Had better. You'd better leave now if you want to catch that train. Would rather. You look tired. Would you rather stay home tonight and watch a movie? Make. Monica makes her 2 teenagers wash the dishes every evening after dinner. Let. Let me pay for coffee. It's my turn.